Good morning, sir. Today I am Vaishnavi going to present a short video lecture on AC fundamentals. So, uh, over here we are first starting with introduction, as we know that what is a direct current and what is an alternating current. Direct current whose magnitude does not changes with respect to time, and alternating current is nothing but whose magnitude and direction changes periodically with respect to time. So, the first graph over here represents a sinusoidal waveform which is changing periodically with respect to time. So, it represents the alternating current. The second graph over here, the straight line is parallel to the time axis. So, it is not changing with time. So, it is the graph of direct current. So, proceeding to the next slide. Not only the AC signal is not only represented by sine wave, it can even be a triangular wave, it can even be a square wave or a complex wave. The only thing is it should vary with time. Okay. So, the next is about why we need AC. So, our topic is concerned with AC. So, it is necessary for us to know the main advantages of AC over DC. So, here I am going to explain the advantages of AC over DC. So, why AC? Electrical transmission of AC signals at high voltage is possible. So, electrical long range transmission is very much easy in AC in alternating current. So, lowering and rising of voltages are very much easy, and the conversion of AC to DC is relatively easy than DC to AC. The device which converts AC to DC is nothing but rectifier. And next is generation of AC is more economical and more easier than DC. So, next we are going to discuss about generation of AC voltage. So, generation of AC voltage, consider the diagram. We are going to consider a rectangular coil. At both the ends we are keeping a magnet. So, we are rotating the rectangular coil. When the rectangular coil, as we know that the voltage, the AC voltage generated is V is equal to Vm sin omega t or Vm sin theta, whatever it may be. So, Vm sin omega t. So, we are rotating now, we are now going to rotate the rectangular coil. So, when I am keeping parallel to the magnetic field lines, the angle between the magnetic field lines and the rectangular coil is going to be 0 degree. So, Vm sin 0 going to be, so the generated AC voltage is going to be 0. So, that is the minimum condition. So, when we are going to keep the rectangular coil perpendicular to the magnetic field lines, V is equal to Vm sin omega t. So, sin of that theta 90 degree is going to be V is equal to Vm, and that is going to be our peak value, or that is going to be our maximum value, right. So, if we are explaining in another way, when we are keeping parallel to the magnetic field lines will not be cut by this rectangular coil, but when we keeping perpendicular to the magnetic field lines, the magnetic field lines are cut by this rectangular coil, and the change in magnetic field produces an EMF, and that EMF is a alternating EMF, right. So, this is based on Faraday's law and electromagnetic induction, nothing but electromagnetic induction. Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the coil, there will be an induced EMF, right. So, next we are going to discuss about some important terminologies in AC circuits. What are the important terminologies in AC circuit? Instantaneous values. Instantaneous value is nothing but it is the value of AC at any particular instant in a cycle, over a cycle, right. That is known as instantaneous value. And next we are going to discuss about an important value called RMS value, which is nothing but root mean square value. So, root mean square value is nothing but it is the steady current, it is the value of the steady current which would produce the same heat in a given resistance and in given time, right. It is the value of steady current which would produce the same heat in a given resistance and in a given time, right. That is now called as RMS value. So there are two methods of calculating RMS value. One is analytical method and another one is graphical method, right? So next we are going to discuss about average value. So average value is nothing but mean. We generally calculate mean of values, so nothing but average is nothing but mean of values. It also has two ways of calculating, graphical and analytical. So we will go through it in the next slide. And the important point over here we have to remember is the average value of AC in a full cycle is 0, because the positive and the negative cycle cancel out each other. So we generally calculate average value over a half cycle, right? So here RMS value is generally in AC, it is given by I0 by root 2 in terms of voltage, V0 by root 2. So here the average value, the analytical method of calculating average value is we are splitting the waveform into several. In this particular diagram we are splitting the waveform into 12 equal parts and just we are taking the mean of it. That is known as average value. Or else we are little bit going deeper. The formula for calculating average value is 2 by pi of Vm. Vm is nothing but the peak value, right? 2 by pi value is 63.7% of peak value, and yeah, and that's it. Next we are going to discuss about peak value and peak to peak value. Peak value is nothing but it is the maximum value in either of cycle. It can be either in a positive cycle or it can be either positive maximum or it can be either negative maximum. So that's the peak value, right? So you can see the maximum amplitude in positive cycle is nothing but peak value, or the maximum amplitude in negative cycle is nothing but the peak value. The peak to peak value is nothing but it is measured from crest to trough over the entire cycle. That's the difference between these two. So moving on to next. Next we are going to discuss about an important factor called phase difference. So phase difference, in simple words, it's nothing but it is the difference between sinusoidally varying quantities, right? So phase difference we generally talk about in phase and out of phase. So phase difference, the important term we have to the important thing we have to remember over here is it should have the same frequency, right? So so phase difference is nothing but when two voltages or current, either when two voltages or current reach their maxima or minima with same frequency at same instant, is said to be they are in phase. If they are in same frequency but they are not reaching maxima or minima in they are reaching a different instance, means they are in out of phase, right? So we can define phase as in phase, positive phase, negative phase, right? So over here we can see that two sine waveforms, one is of voltage which is starting from 0 and another is current. We can clearly see that the current is lagging voltage, right, by an angle of phi, right? So here phasor diagram is we can see that we are taking voltage as reference in reference axis and current in we are taking voltage in reference axis. So current is lagging voltage, so current is lagging voltage by an angle phi, right? So next we are going to discuss about purely resistive circuit. Purely resistive circuit is nothing but we are considering a circuit with alternating power supply and a resistor connected in series. That's it. And we are we know that according to Ohm's law, VR is equal to I into R, and we also know that I is equal to Im sin omega t. So here the sine waveform represents they are in phase. So in pure resistive circuit, the current and voltage are in phase, right? Both are starting from 0 axis. But here we can see that the magnitude of current is a bit lower than voltage. This is because we know that current is equal to Vm by R. R is some positive quantity. So due to this reason current is always less than voltage, right. So moving on to next. This is the phasor diagram. Here we can see that the angle between the voltage and the current is 0. Clearly it is visible, right. So next we are going to discuss about inductive circuits. So inductive circuits are nothing but it is also the same. It is with one power supply and one inductor connected in series, right. So here V is equal to, we know that V is directly proportional to change in current di by dt, and removing the proportionality symbol, V is equal to minus of L into di by dt, where L is called inductance. Minus symbol over here represents, the minus symbol is according to Lenz's law, right. So I know that I is equal to Im sin omega t. So differentiating, I get Im cos of omega t. So L omega into Im cos of omega t. Cos omega t can be written as sin omega t plus pi by 2. So that's it. So where L omega is equal to XL, and XL is nothing but inductive reactance. So in inductive circuit, we have to remember over here is, in inductor circuit, current is lagging by 90 degree, or we can also say that voltage is leading current by 90 degree, right. So here is the phasor diagram. We are taking V in reference axis and current is lagging by 90 degree. So here are some basic. So we know that XL is equal to L omega, which is nothing, omega is nothing but 2 pi nu into L, right. So for DC frequency is 0. So XL becomes 0. XL becomes 0. XL is nothing but it is also a resistance, or it is also a resistance. It is the resistance offered by the inductor, nothing but the resistance offered. Okay. So inductor allows DC supply. That's the conclusion we are getting from here. So when we are plotting graph against reactance, inductive reactance and frequency, we are getting a straight line, linear graph we are getting, right. So next we are going to see capacitive circuit. Capacitive circuit with the power supply, one capacitor in series, right. I is equal to dq by dt. So q is equal to C into V. C is equal C into Vm sin omega t, right. Now we are going to differentiate Q. So I is equal to omega C into Vm cos omega t. Okay, cos omega t can be written as sin omega t plus pi by 2. So where Xc is nothing but 1 by C omega, called as capacitive reactance. For DC frequency is 0, so Xc becomes infinite, 1 by C omega, where nu becomes 0 means it is 1 by 0, that's become infinite. So capacitor, the important point over here is capacitor blocks AC, right. Capacitor blocks AC. So here is the graph and the phasor representation. In capacitive circuit, the current leads voltage by an angle 90 degree, or voltage lags current by an angle 90 degree. So phasor representation of it. So moving to next. Next we are going to discuss about RL circuit. Okay, RL circuit. So RL circuit is nothing but resistance and inductance with a power supply. Okay, so VR, the voltage across resistance is VR, the voltage across inductor is VL, right. So the total voltage is VR plus VL, and V is equal to IR plus I into JXL. So J is nothing but a complex term, right. So I into, we are taking common, and where R plus JXL is nothing but impedance, right, impedance. So here we can see the phasor diagram. So phasor diagram is here due to the presence of inductor. In inductor we saw that in purely inductive circuit we saw that current lags voltage by 90 degree, right. Current lags voltage by 90 degree. So here in sinusoidal waveform we can see that current is lagging voltage by an angle phi. That phi is nothing but 90 degree, right. So here we can see that in reference axis we are taking current, and voltage VR is also in the same in phase, because in resistive circuit voltage and current are in phase, and VL is 90 degree with respect to I, right? According to parallelogram law of vector, we are completing it as a parallelogram, and the resultant we are doing, right? So next we are going to discuss about RC circuit. So RC circuit, same as due to the presence of inductor over there, here due to the presence of capacitor over here. So due to the presence of capacitor, current leads voltage or voltage lags current, right? Okay. So here we can clearly see that the sum of the total voltage is equal to VR plus VC, and here we can see that Z is equal to R minus J XC, and impedance in RC circuit. Z is impedance in RC circuit, and over the sinusoidal waveform we can see that current is leading voltage by an angle phi. That angle is nothing but 90 degree, right? The phasor diagram is also like that. So we are taking R is in phase with I, and voltage across R is in phase with I, and it is voltage is lagging, right, 90 degree with respect to current. Next we are going to see a sum on RC and RL circuits. So here we are going to see a sum on RL. So what they are given is L they are given, R they are given. It is connected to a 250 volt supply, and frequency they have given, and we have to calculate these. So first of all, for calculating Z, we have a standard formula called root of R square plus XL square, right? So substituting in that we get L is given, our R is given, so we are getting Z. Second, we are calculating current. For that V by R, nothing but V by R means it is only purely resistive circuit. Over here it is RL circuit, so it comes V by Z, impedance factor. So V by Z we get I. Power factor is nothing but cos phi. Here phi is nothing but the angle between the supply voltage and the current, right? So cos phi is equal to R by Z, we get the value. Power is equal to Vrms Irms cos phi. Vrms we can anything, any value, any value, any voltage value in the question in case of AC we find means it is only the RMS value. So Vrms Irms cos phi, we are directly substituting. We have found I, we have Vrms nothing but 250, we are substituting, we get power, right? Next the sum on RC. Next we are going to solve on RC, right? So RC, they have given the power, and 250 volt Vrms they have given, and frequency is 25. So voltage drop across VR is equal to 160, and we have to calculate these, right? So first we are calculating Z. It is basic formula and it is self-explanatory. So right, the side is we are going to see impedance triangle. Impedance triangle is very much useful in calculating for numericals. So it is based on basic principle of Pythagoras theorem. So next we are going to see RLC circuit. In RLC circuit, the resistance, capacitance and inductor all are connected in series to a power supply, right? Here we are considering two cases, inductive dominant circuit and a capacitive dominant circuit. Inductive dominant circuit, if you see the phasor diagram, the inductor is going to dominate. So in inductor, current lags, right? So current with respect to voltage is lagging, right? So VL minus VC, the VC will be lying downwards. If we take the vector of it will be VL minus VC, and by parallelogram law resultant comes, right? Capacitive dominant circuit also in the same way. So here nothing but for inductive, first picture shows for inductive circuit, inductive dominant circuit, V is equal to root of V square R plus VL minus VC the whole square, right? So by simplifying we get the factor, the impedance factor Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC square, right? So from the impedance triangle we are getting tan phi is equal to VL minus VC by R, okay? So in similar way for capacitive dominant circuit, the only change is at the place of VL we are putting VC, at the place of VC we are putting VL. That's the only change. So next we are going to discuss about RLC resonance. So we have just now saw RLC circuit. So RLC resonance is nothing but, in resonance, when a circuit is said to be, when a RLC circuit is said to be in resonance means when the inductive load and capacitive load XL and XC becomes equal to each other. So it is called as, and then the power factor becomes unity. We know that cos phi is equal to R by Z. So R is equal to Z. So power factor becomes cos phi is equal to 1. It becomes unity, right? And also in resonance, when we know that Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. So XL and XC are equal. So root of R square is equal to R. So Z is equal to R. So in resonance, the RLC circuit behaves as a purely resistive circuit. Alright. So at frequency at resonance, this is the term for frequency at resonance. So FR is equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. At resonance, the current will be maximum, which is depicted by this picture, the maximum current at resonance. So next we are going to see power factor. Power factor we already discussed, cos phi is equal to R by Z. So at resonance, R is equal to Z, the power factor becomes unity. So quality factor. Next, the quality factor is nothing but it is the measure of goodness, or it is nothing but it is the measure of quality of a resonance circuit. Right? Here another term comes, bandwidth. Here it is the expression for quality factor for a RLC circuit. And next is bandwidth. Bandwidth is nothing but it is the difference between upper and lower frequencies over a range of frequencies, right? Bandwidth. So this is the phasor diagram of RLC circuit. I already told that RLC circuit at resonance behaves as purely resistive circuit. So in resistive circuit, voltage and current are in main phase. So simply it is the phasor diagram of resistive circuit. So thank you sir for your time, consideration and patience. I hope I have said correctly all. So thank you so much, sir.